Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Pints and Paints. Hope you enjoyed the new intro. Big thanks to OHA George for whipping that up on his new editing software. So excited about that, which leads well into sort of what this issue of P&P is going to be about. Issue, episode, whatever you want to call it. Let's get the formalities out of the way. And in a strange and odd twist, there was actually some painting going on before P&P. So first off, we're drinking an OV. That's right, an old Vienna. It is a hot day here in Canada, and there is nothing more refreshing than a delicious beer. So cheers, guys. Here's to an OV. A fine Molson product, probably one of the only Molson products I actually care for, but good nonetheless. So cheers. Here's to the start of a great hobby weekend. So good. So I have been working on little tidbits and pieces, and for those of you who recognize those parts, you're going to know right away what it is that I've been working on. So there has been some paints going on during Pints and Paints, or before, or during the lead up to, I guess you could say. So the title is still very much relevant and fitting, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I am working on a Mummic, finally getting some paint to it, so looking forward to that, because there's a lot of exciting things coming up that we're going to talk about. So first off, want to touch on the OHA had its first official meeting, I guess. So all the members were able to make it out, minus, of course, our honorary members from the UK. But we all met in London. This was a couple weeks back now. Terrific turnout, terrific brainstorming, and a lot of fun. We had an absolute blast. We went out to the pub and just hung out like a bunch of friends, which was awesome, and we were able to come up with some really awesome ideas for sort of the direction of the OHA going forward, and what that's going to look like, how we translate it to you on camera, you know, and sort of where we can improve, I guess, would be the best way to do it. So if you're watching P&P, you know, I'm sure that there is a ton of content out there, and I think we want to try to be a little different in the style of content. So I know we were joking about it during the meeting, but you know, maybe a little more grown-up version of I don't even know if I want to say grown-up version, a more mature version, I guess, of SPG content. Obviously, we are a little rough around the edges compared to some of the other groups, and I think we kind of like it that way. We like having fun. We like giving it sort of the adult side of the hobby. So that's why we have pints, and that's why we have you know, late night shenanigans and all that fun stuff. So it's been a blast. So really excited to see the contributions and brainstorms and ideas from the newer guys, the newer members, OHA Dane, Tyler, Big Papa T, Tony. It was a blast. So we came up with some awesome ideas. So look for a bit of a change on the OHA going forward, you know, just with respect to the type of content that's going to be put out, the style that's going to be put out in, and you know, we're definitely looking forward to you guys enjoying that and following along. Obviously, we're still going to keep up with the PMP. I think the plan is for OHA George to do the OHA workshop still, and then, of course, bat reps and stuff. But, you know, we're definitely going to try to keep things a little more loose, a little more fun, a little less structured, and try not to be dry, I guess would be the best way to put that. So hopefully that fits into what you're looking for, you know, in your hobby viewing experience. And we certainly appreciate the time and you guys tuning in and giving us the support that you do. So all in all, first OHA meeting, awesome. Can't wait to see where it goes. Obviously, we touched on a couple of the events that are coming up and sort of direction on that. So look for some information for Scouring the West Farthing, which will be our next event coming up in September. That's going to be down in Chatham, Kent. So I think there is an event already posted up on the OHA Facebook site. You can see the dates and such, so go ahead, let us know if you're coming, and then obviously hopefully in the next month or so we're gonna have some information out just to get you guys up to speed, so you know what you got to do and when to bring it and all that fun stuff. So looking forward to it. So hopefully we see some of you fine gents there. Able to get a bat rep film this week, which was awesome. Had OHA George down here in the Forge. Planned on doing a few bat reps, but the game ran a little log, which is quite okay indeed. Other recap: last weekend had a terrific event in Cambridge, Ontario, hosted by none other than OHA Evan, OSBGL Evan, and Evan of Home. So the three of them put on an absolutely terrific event. It was a lot of fun. We had a little bit of a delay in that the store owner didn't quite make it there on time, but luckily everybody kind of pulled together and helped get things set up, and all in all I think we did pretty good time-wise. It was a great time, had a blast, great people. There was actually a little microbrewery right across the street from the event, so that helped to maintain the appropriate level of hydration for all OHA members in attendance, which is important. As the lead health and safety rep for the OHA, I like to make sure that that all the boys are hydrated. So rest assured we were. It was a great turnout, had an absolute blast. Should have written this down, but I didn't. As far as who won, I'm pretty sure Ronan took it again. So congratulations, Ronan, for taking that the gold, the first place, and then I think it was Mike Campbell and Derek, I believe, were the other two fellas that placed. So good time. I didn't have the opportunity to play Ronan. I did play Derek and his horde of 487 million Hobbits, which my Isengard did not fare well against all that shooting and rock throwing, but it was good fun. It was good fun, to be sure. So there were some cool prizes, some plaques. You know, Evan is usually pretty good at making sure that those in attendance are outfitted well. So there was a cool little swag bag that had all kinds of goodies in it. It was just a great time all around, so would highly recommend any event hosted by the great and effervescent Evan Woodruff. So cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for the good time. Thanks for the little escape, and it was good times. If I'm not mistaken, that's my first OSBGL event of the year, I believe. I haven't been able to make it to any of the other ones. However, I will be going to Desolation of Toronto, so I'm excited to see what the fellas over at Blackfire can do with this one. You know, obviously last year they had it in Ottawa, and it was out of reach for me. Timing was poor given the fact it was right in between my family vacation and then of course the trip to Nova, but as well it was nestled in between Articon for other SBG players and other Canadian people. So it could have been a problem. They've rectified that this year. They've got it coming up in July. And I should have written this down too, and I didn't. Didn't take notes. Flying off the cuff today. Anyways, go over to the OSBGL site. I want to say it's the 20th to the 22nd. I'm pretty sure, in Toronto, down by the airport, which is great. I don't get to the big smoke all that often. I'm a bit of a country boy myself, but it's going to be quite an adventure to hook up with none other than OHA Dane Thonger and OHA Tony, Big Papa T, and I think we're going to have a great time. So, got a room. It's a 3-day event. The Friday is like a participation game. I will unfortunately be skipping that only because the cost of admission into the Hobbit GT, I guess, weekend is upwards of $80. So going on the Friday, I want to try to get bang for my buck. I want to take a look around the convention, do a bunch of stuff, which, you know, from my conversations with Adam, seems like he's totally cool. They're limited on space anyways for participation, so looking forward to seeing what the expo has on offer. You know, trying to see how we're faring in comparison to things like Nova. Obviously Nova's huge, it's massive, but it's going to be interesting to go to a larger Canadian gaming convention, because the largest I've ever been to is Hotled, which as amazing as it is humble in size, which I think gives it its character, but I haven't been to a large-scale Canadian gaming event, so looking forward to that. Looking forward to what Blackfire does. They've been putting together some amazing prizes, so I'm looking forward to that. Go check it out on their page and every other page. You're going to see all the posts with all the cool prizes, which is awesome. What else did I want to say? 1,000 points, which is cool. Gives you an opportunity to use a whole bunch of toys. So given the fact that Games Workshop, for those of you who don't know, Games Workshop has offered up prize support in the form of the ring trophies, as seen at Warhammer World and Nova. So that's awesome. They are absolutely stunning. Terrific that they've offered to support the Canadian scene. I know we have a bunch of Americans coming up that are going to try to poach those trophies and take them home to America, but hopefully some of our Canadian finest will make sure that that does not occur. But either way, it's going to be a great time. 1,000 points gives you lots of freedom to bring whatever. I mean, if you want to spam troops, you can spam troops. Rounds are 2 hours and 45 minutes, and there's going to be 6 rounds. So it's going to be 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. So that is going to make for a long 2 days of gaming. That I can say for sure. You know, it's interesting. Me and George, the bat rep that we played was 369 points, and that game in and of itself, just due to the deployment and how it worked out, that game ended up taking, you know, the better part of, Jesus, by the time we felt it was almost like 3-4 hours. You know, obviously we weren't pushing because it wasn't a tournament or anything, but still, some of these games can drag on. So when you're moving 1,000 points worth of troops, you know, for some it's going to be easy because you're going to have all heroes, or for some it's going to be difficult because there's going to be a lot of models. You know, that can really impact the amount of time in the game, how long it takes, and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic, both from a strategy standpoint and from just a gameplay standpoint. So, but all in all, it's looking like a great time. Looking forward to going down and hanging out with the boys and, you know, having some pints. Having some pints. Maybe we'll get special P&P filmed on Friday night with all the boys. See how that goes. But yeah, so if you're in the area or you're interested in attending TGX or the Hobbit GT that is taking place Desolation of Toronto, go check out either the OSBGL Facebook group under the event section, or you can waddle on over to Blackfire Productions. I'm sure, if I had to hazard a guess, they might have a couple things up about that. Just saying. That's something that interests you, then head on over there. Just click the away button, like the close this out, and go over to Blackfire, get signed up, give them your $80. You can come hang out. Maybe we'll film P&P. Who knows? Who knows? It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I know the OSBGL will be hosting a sort of one of their first meetings, I guess. First public meeting, I guess, would be the more appropriate way to put it. I believe they deal more in an admin type setting, generally speaking, but they're opening it up. They're going to have, I guess, what I would call a Q&A and sort of a brainstorming thing with all the OSBGL members that will be in attendance on the Saturday night. So that should be good, healthy for the community, healthy for the OSBGL. It'll be interesting to hear on Sunday or later Saturday night what came out of that meeting. So cheers to that. Looking forward to seeing where you guys are going and what the direction of the OSBGL will be. So other than that, I need to decide what I'm taking to Desolation of Toronto. Are there any suggestions? Any suggestions out there? 1,000 points, lots of goodies to bring. I'm not a terrific player, so I need something a little more resilient. So I was kind of excited at the prospect of taking 1,000 points of Iron Hills, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if maybe I want to switch it up. I'm really not sure. Maybe if I get these mummics done. The only reason I'm leaning towards playing my Iron Hills or let's say Isengard is because I'm used to playing them in a 1,000 point game. you know, that caliber, especially with some of the people that are going to be in attendance, both from the Canadian scene and the American scene. You know, I'm obviously not trying to be super competitive, but I'd like to be more than just a speed bump for some of those players. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm sure I'll get some videos up closer to posting on, you know, where I want to go, what kind of list I'm going to bring, and that sort of ilk. But stay tuned for that. As I said, stay tuned for some of the exciting changes that are going to be taking place on the OHA, sort of the style of content and the flavor. Obviously still maintaining that pure SBG theme, which is sort of what we're built upon, but just sort of the next evolution of the OHA and its content. So the OHA painting competition is almost over. It closes tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day for you to submit. I will have the winners announced by July 1st, Canada Day. Yeah, Canada. There have been some absolutely stunning entries. I'm going to throw them up at the end of this video. I'll put some stills in. Absolutely amazing paint jobs. Super excited to see if there's any late entries. I know Derek just posted his. He did an amazing scene of the death or the fall of Theoden. Even has the head of the Nazgul on the base. Looks really cool. Can't wait to take a closer look at that. Hopefully he brings it along to one of the upcoming events. But yeah, it's exciting. So last minute, if you think you got time, get something in. Get it submitted to me by you know, 12 p.m. tomorrow. And you know, we'd be happy to make sure you get entered into the prize. The prize is a beautiful print. It's a fair size print. It has 3 of the more rare movie posters in the same print. So you know, we're gonna go ahead and there will be some outside judges that will pick the winner of said competition, and we will post that up on July 1st. So if that's of interest to you, hurry on over to the OHA Facebook page for more information. So as for me, that's it. I'm done. That's it. It's actually my birthday tomorrow, so I'm gonna go and enjoy some more pints, chill out. I might do a little bit of hobbying, a little more work on the mummic. Not really sure. All I do know is I'll be having a few more of these. So until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in to PNP. We'll see you then.